whatever you want to do and think, okay, nothing's going to happen. You're on bond for 2 serious cases.
Your Honor, if I may again.
Good morning, Mr. Godine.
You know, sir.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 26, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, a law enforcement officer observed a vehicle run a red light and initiated a traffic stop. The law enforcement officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, and observed bloodshot eyes, droopy eyelids, constricted pupils, unbalanced, and the defendant to be talkative and have trouble concentrating. The defendant admitted to running the red light. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. A 2 out of 6 was recorded on the HGN, a 5 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and a 1 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The defendant estimated 30 seconds passing in what was in reality 72 seconds on the one leg stand. The defendant admitted to smoking weed earlier. The defendant consented to breath and blew a .00. The defendant consented to drug influence evaluation, and a drug recognition expert believed the defendant to be under the influence of a central nervous system stimulant, a narcotic, an analgesic, and cannabis, thank you, Your Honor. And the defendant admitted he took oxycodone, or narcos, and smoked weed. A blood warrant was obtained and executed.
Mr. Godine, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward to the case. If you have a drug or alcohol problem, now is the time for you to address it. I'm giving you the opportunity now. If I find that becomes a problem while you're on bond, I'm going to revoke your bond. I will put you in jail, and I'm going to address it myself. Oxy is one of the absolute worst things that you could possibly take because you build up such a tolerance to it. You literally put your lungs to sleep if you take too much, and you end up dying. I cannot tell you how many people have died from this drug. It's absolutely disgusting. And the maker has been sued repeatedly by how many different states in this country because it's such an addictive thing. Don't use. I'm telling you now, within the next week, I'm going to test you because I want to make sure you're not using. Do you understand?
Sir.
Don't use. You've got a great lawyer here. She will take care of you, but I don't care who you have here. Jesus, you use. It's not going to go well. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
License, prior DWIs?
The license is eligible.
Okay.
And not seeing any prior DWIs here, Your Honor.
I'm telling you that I've had probably a handful of friends that have died from Oxy because they continue to take it, build up that punch, and put their lungs to sleep. It's disgusting. Just don't. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I don't want you to kill yourself. Life is way too short. You're not allowed to drive unless you also have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance. Do you understand? Because you have a lawyer, we will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with Ms. Barks, and she'll tell you if and when you have to come back to court. Be careful. Don't use. As long as you do, all is well. Come on.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Barks.
All right, Judge, next is, go ahead and sign, please. Page 6, Garza, come on up.
Hey, Lori. You want to chat me what you want? What you got? Good morning, Mr. Garza.
Good morning.
Sir, you're charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 24th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an undercover law enforcement officer observed a vehicle conducting multiple donuts in a parking lot in close proximity to other vehicles and pedestrians. The law enforcement officer maintained visual of the vehicle until another law enforcement officer was able to conduct a traffic stop of the vehicle and detain the defendant. The defendant admitted he was the one driving the vehicle and doing donuts.
Mr. Garza, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Does he have a license?
It is eligible, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to participate in these types of activities anymore. Racing, street takeovers, donuts, reckless driving. If I find that you do, first I'm going to put you in jail. The next thing I will take your ability to drive away. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
17.
You want a court-appointed lawyer?
So what's up?
You need a lawyer to represent. Do you know if your family's going to hire you one, or do you want to apply? Okay, so you don't want to apply for a court-appointed lawyer. Okay. I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign and reset. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box while I get your bond conditions. Don't drive maniacally. Do you understand? You are also not allowed to drive unless you have car insurance in your name as well. If I find that you do and without it, it's not going to go well.
What's up?
Come on. Come on.
Barlow,
So just,
It's not signed.
well, so I guess
I can just file with it until you.
it's saying wishes to hire a lawyer so that we don't, so we
okay.
don't.
Oh, okay, okay.
Next judge is,
Hey, John, can you answer an email from Lori regarding a Holman, please?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
page 15, Ramirez, come on up.
Oh, and can you file those conditions on me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it's signed on both of them.
Okay. Speed up, Bobo. Come on up.
All right, good morning, Mr. Ramirez.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and/or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 27, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, a law enforcement officer was dispatched to a major accident. The law enforcement officer observed a house with damage to the garage and the front of the house. Additionally, a Harris County Constable patrol vehicle was parked in front of another home and was damaged. The law enforcement officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle to have damage as well. The law enforcement officer observed the defendant to match the description given by dispatch and detained the defendant. The law enforcement officer met with a witness who recorded the accident and spotted the defendant as the driver. The law enforcement officer ID'd the defendant by his Texas driver's license. The law enforcement officer observed a strong odor of alcoholic beverage emitting from the defendant's breath, red bloodshot eyes, and slurred speech. The defendant declined to perform standard field sobriety tests. The DIC was read and the defendant agreed to provide a sample. However, due to the defendant's age, the law enforcement officer obtained a blood warrant which was then executed.
Any prior DWIs?
No, Judge.
License?
License.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you if I find that you're using. It's not going to go well for you. I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you become a danger to my city, I'm going to do everything in my power to protect you. You're not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name.
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
18.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Might, possibly, yes, sir. Not sure. I did just apply to appoint one.
Are you working? What do you do with yourself?
Yes, sir, I do work. I'm an employed full-time cashier at Bunsa within Katy, but the money.
Don't. I just want to know if you're working.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, good job. So I'm going to appoint your lawyer today.
Thanks, sir.
Don't use. I don't care where you're going, what you're doing. I don't care if it's Jesus asked you to break bread. Don't use. It's not going to go well. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we have you sign conditions and find your lawyer.
Thanks, sir.
Come on. Good morning, Mr. Randolph.
Good morning.
So you're charged with assault, causing bodily injury. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. All right.
Judge on.
We're doing here. There's no reason for you to be looking out there. We're going to do probable cause. We have to find out what happened with the case.
Judge, on April 23rd, 2025, an officer was dispatched to an assault call and made contact with the complaining witness, and the defendant. The complaining witness stated that he saw the defendant talking to and following a witness, and the witness then started to run away and observed the defendant to chase after the witness. The complaining witness then got in between the defendant and the complaining witness, and the defendant then struck the complaining witness with a closed fist. The complaining witness said he felt pain, and they grabbed the defendant and they proceeded to grapple until security arrived. The witness stated that she did not know the defendant and that her and her friend walked past the defendant on the street. The defendant then began to verbally harass them and started to get verbally aggressive. She asked the defendant to leave them alone, and the defendant continued to refuse to do so, and that she began to walk away and to try and get away from the defendant, but got stuck at the intersection crosswalk. Then corroborated the facts that the complaining witness provided about getting in between the two of them.
Mr. Randolph, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. Do you understand? I'm ordering you also now not to be in possession of any weapons, not to have any contact with the complaining witness, and not to go to this part of the street. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Don't be a danger to my city, man. I'm not asking for much.
I'm not in danger. I didn't never know these people, Your Honor. I need a public defender.
I'll give you one. But I'm telling you now, Mr. Randolph, don't be a danger to my city.
I was never in danger. Just I don't intend to be in danger either.
All I want my streets safe.
They
And
was in danger to me, and that's why I'm showing up today.
I'm going to protect my streets at all costs. You
You
understand?
protect me from these kind of people.
I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, I'm
I
going
do
to
need a public defending office, your judge or
I already
lawyer.
told you I was going to give you one. Just really.
I'm really scared for my life because I just did 4 years and I'm going through the same thing again in your courtroom when I did good and I'm going through all the facilities. There was never in a harm's way standing 100 feet away from these people or 200 feet. I was never 100 feet within there.
Go. Exercise.
And I'm
the right
running from
to
these
stop.
people.
You're going to say something that hurts your case. Just stop.
Yes, sir.
I'm not asking you to say anything. I just want,
I just want to also be safe in your community also.
don't use any dope. Don't use any alcohol.
Never was. I was sober that day. I was sober as can be, no drugs, nothing. Enjoying a beautiful day for my mama's funeral. I don't know these people.
Listen, I'm going to have you sign a reset. I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury. Yo, I'm not talking to you. Once you sign the reset, just take a seat in the jury box. I'm going to find you a lawyer, but we need you to sign conditions. Don't leave until you sign the bond conditions.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, the next is page 16. Reed, come on up.
Hey, guys, stay. You're going to have to give her the location on the street so that she knows.
Judge, I'll do that.
All right, good morning, Miss Reed.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 26, 2025, a law enforcement officer was dispatched to a Target store in reference to a shoplifter in Harris County, Texas. The law enforcement officer spoke with the complaining witness, the loss prevention officer, who stated that the defendant was observed on videotape obtaining items without payment. The defendant was observed on camera grabbing multiple items of merchandise, placing them in her backpack, and bypassing all points of sale without attempting to pay for the items. The complaining witness stopped the defendant after they had passed all points of sale, and the defendant was ID'd by name and date of birth. The total value of the items taken was $119.97.
The co-defendant?
Let me check.
Ms. Reed, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to go to any Target for any reason. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you do, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Likewise, don't pick up any new cases. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, ma'am? Okay, we can have you fill. Did she fill one out?
Yes, that was Jade Reed? Yeah.
Okay, you're currently in school?
Yes, sir.
Are you in school full-time?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna appoint you a lawyer, ma'am. If you wanna go to Victoria, we'll have you sign a reset. After that, we'll have you take you sit in the jury box while we find you a lawyer, and then we'll have you sign bond conditions as well, ma'am. Thanks. So no going to new target, please.
Yes, Your Honor. And there are no co-defendants to my knowledge.
All right, Judge, next is page 17, Reyes, come on up.
Good morning, Ms. Reyes. You were charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. The right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 25th, 2025, a law enforcement officer was dispatched regarding a DWI investigation in Harris County, Texas. The law enforcement officer who conducted the traffic stop stated he observed the motor vehicle traveling the wrong way down Commerce Street. The law enforcement officer stated to the investigating officer that he observed red, glossy eyes. The other law enforcement officer arrived on scene and observed bloodshot, glossy eyes. The defendant admitted to drinking small margarita sample-sized drinks. The defendant stated she did not know she was traveling the wrong way down the street. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. A 6 out of 6 was recorded on the HGN, a 2 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and a 3 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The defendant consented to a roadside preliminary breath test yielding a .12. The DIC was read, and the defendant agreed to provide a breath sample for the breath test strip reading a .086 and a .088.
Okay. Ms. Reyes, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to test you. If I find that you're using, I will put you in jail. You understand that? Any prior DWIs?
No prior DWIs.
License?
Eligible.
Okay. You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid license and insurance in your name. You understand? That is also a condition of your bond. I will appoint your lawyer today. So what we'll have you do now is I'm going to have you head on over to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll have you take your seat in the jury box. I'm going to get your bond conditions, we'll have you sign it, and we'll have you speak to a lawyer here momentarily, ma'am. Okay? Please.
Next, Judge, is page 20, Taylor Marcus.
Aaron Smith, Aaron John Smith, come on up.
Euler,
So, Michael,
said here has a video.
who has to be? I know, but it looks like you've appointed to Jessica Taylor, who might be the co-defendant in this case.
It is a video. She's a
Okay.
video on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, well, I'll do yours after, I guess. So you are Marcus Taylor. Mr. Taylor, you're charged with assault, bodily injury. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 27th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, law enforcement officers were dispatched to a disturbance/unknown weapon call. The law enforcement officer met with the complaining witness, who stated he is an employee of the state veterans home on the nursing staff.
John Garza,
The complaining witness states that the defendant is unwelcome at the facility and has been asked to leave on multiple occasions, and the defendant has refused to do so. The complaining witness stated the defendant was attempting to have his grandfather sign power of attorney paperwork. However, nurses intervened due to the grandfather being diagnosed with dementia. The complaining witness states that the defendant used force to remove the complaining witness from the grandfather's room by pushing the complaining witness on the chest with his hands. The complaining witness stated he felt pain. The complaining witness positively ID'd the defendant. Law enforcement officers detained the defendant without incident.
Okay. Mr. Taylor, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to go back to this location. Do you understand? If you violate these conditions, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. You were also ordered as a condition not to be in possession of any weapons as well. we are going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you go to Victoria's recess. After that, we'll have you take your seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and after that, you'll be free to go.
This is affidavit, Judge.
Okay. Please. You are on bond for murder, and you've now picked up an assault case. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 27th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, officers were dispatched to a disturbance/unknown weapon call. The complaining witness stated she is part of the nursing staff and that the defendant has been asked to leave on multiple occasions and refuses to do so. The complaining witness stated that the defendant was attempting to get her grandfather to sign over power of attorney to her, but the staff would not allow this due to the grandfather being diagnosed with dementia. The complaining witness stated that the defendant used force on the complaining witness to get her to leave the grandfather's room. The complaining witness states that the defendant put her hands on the complaining witness's face and pushed it back. The defendant was positively identified by the complaining witness and her Texas ID number.
You say that there was any pain? She pushed in the face. This is an assault, right? There has to be some kind of injury or pain.
She did state that she felt pain in the dim summary.
Okay. Ms. Taylor, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. Now, you're saying there's a bond violation in this case?
Yes, Judge, it's in the,
Michael, have you seen this? And how did you already get appointed to this case?
Your Honor, I was appointed sometime very recently on this
Wow.
case. I received a text. I don't know what day it was, but I received
It
a
looks
text
like it
upon-
was the 29th, which was Tuesday. But how was he appointed a lawyer?
I'm thinking when she was in the holdover.
No. How is she, I mean, I don't understand. Well, regardless, I guess I'm glad that you're appointed because right now she's got bond violations. She was
I
ordered by the
wasn't aware of
magistrate.
that, Judge.
I'm sorry?
I wasn't aware of a BVR in this case. I actually have another BVR today before the court.
I know that, yeah, we got you. We'll deal with that one next, but you're on bond for murder. You were ordered by the magistrate to have a GPS monitor. You have violated those conditions. Unacceptable. I'm revoking your bond. She goes with you. No.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yeah.
Your Honor, she just was released because I met her in the holdover earlier this week, and she could not have been out of jail more than a day, two at the most. Would the court allow her to leave right now to get the device?
No. Did she not get the device?
Judge, there was a conflict, that's why the DVR was submitted, felony, so the magistrate ordered bond conditions, but the curfew times were not aligning with the felony condition.
So what? I mean, you still have to abide by the conditions. I mean, what did they say the conditions were?
I have the whole up right there.
I'm not asking you to say anything, Ms. Taylor. The only thing I want is I want my city protected. You're on bond for this serious case, and now you picked up an assault. I mean, you were ordered to have certain conditions. You must abide by these conditions.
And Your Honor,
She received conditions of bond on April 28th, 2025 that ordered a GPS device with a curfew of 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. On May 1st, she had an unapproved enter at 7:52 p.m. and then left again at 8:51 until basically 9 o'clock at night.
Yes, Judge, and on the felony conditions, I'm looking at them right now, their curfew is from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. So that's where it's conflicting. So the magistrate ordered from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and on felony, their curfew was 12 a.m. to 6 a.m.
I mean, she still has to follow conditions, right? There may be conflicting, but, you abide by the conditions, and then you come to court and you ask to, do something or maybe make them align, but you just don't do whatever you want to do and think, okay, nothing's going to happen. You're on bond for 2 serious cases.
Your Honor, if I may again,
Sure.
this is a brand new case. Could the court admonish her? Because the amount of time, I understand that.
Michael, she's on bond for murder. She's lucky to even have a bond, and now she picks up an assault. She's ordered to have a curfew, and she's just doing whatever the hell she wants to do.
In this case, Judge, that's before your court. This is a brand new case, and this is her first time having any issues while on your bond, Judge. Would the court be willing to admonish her not to leave her home even for short periods of time?
I don't know, Mikey. I don't know.
And my assumption is we're gonna reach out to Melanie. My assumption is there's BVR problem for that too, so I don't know what her thought of her was like, but.
I don't know, Michael. I'm going to stew on it for a while. You
Yes,
want to
Your
talk
Honor.
about your other BVR? Or wait, hold on a second. Sorry, let me just finish with the arraignments. Give me 2 seconds, and then we're almost
No
done.
problem, Judge.
Next one, Judge, is page 2. Avila, Diaz,
You are Marvin Avila Diaz.
Yes, Marvin Aguilar Diaz. Yes, sir.
You are charged with assault of a family member. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed for you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 26, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, officers were dispatched to a disturbance call. Officers met with the complaining witness who stated that the defendant and him are in a dating relationship. The complaining witness stated that they had just dropped friends off and started to argue about the vehicle they were driving. The argument became physical, and the defendant struck the complaining witness in the face with a closed fist multiple times, causing bleeding and pain. The officers observed the complaining witness to have dried blood on his face. Take a closer look here,
Mr.
Judge.
Avila Diaz, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward
Ya hay
with the case.
bastante motivos
Any
fundados
was
para ir
alcohol
adelante con
or
la
anything a
acusación.
factor?
¿Quieres saber si había alcohol?
I am ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case, not to be in possession of weapons. Mr. Avila, I don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail and immigration finds you, it's very possible they put a detainer on you and you will be stuck in custody until this case is over with, and then you get shipped to immigration.
Eso se
Do you
finaliza.
understand?
Yo. Contesta la juez. Yes, sir.
Get no more warnings.
No,
Mr.
no.
Avila, I'm going to protect my city at all costs, and if that means putting you in jail, I will do it in a moment's notice.
Judge, the law enforcement officer observed the defendant to be in the vehicle, but to be in the front right passenger side.
Pero estaba en el lado del
It
pasajero.
does not indicate
Y
that
no
alcohol was a factor.
indica que había alcohol como un factor en esto. Nadie estaba
There is a protective order that has been issued in this case.
Es una orden de protección.
Get to know it. If you do something to violate this protective order, the state can and will probably file a violation of protective order against you. And that is one of the worst cases that you can make up.
Otro codazo feo que puedes agarrar. Entonces no hablas con él.
Are you working at this time?
¿Estás trabajando en este momento? No, sir.
Are you in school full
¿Estás
time?
estudiando? Ya terminé. I completed it.
It's time for you to do something. You need to either work full-time or you need to be in school full-time, but doing nothing is not going to work. That is also a condition of law. I will appoint you a lawyer today, but I'm going to bring you back in several weeks to see what you have done to get a full-time job. If it's nothing,
Voy a averiguar qué estás haciendo para conseguir
do you
un
understand?
empleo. ¿Me entendió? Contéstela
Okay.
pues.
I'm going to have you sign a receipt with Victoria. After that, I'm going to have you take your seat in the jury box while we create your bond conditions.
Siempre vas a
All right, Judge, the next Spanish arraignment is page 7, Hernandez.
¿Qué voy a decir?
Mr. Yepes Ovidio, you are charged with tampering with the government's record. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On April 26,
26 de abril
2024,
2024,
a law enforcement
un
officer
oficial
was on
policial
patrol
estaba
in Harris County,
patrullando
Texas,
aquí en el condado de
when he
Harris,
observed
cuando
a
él
motor
observó
vehicle
un
going 82 miles per hour in a
iba a
65
82
mile
millas
per
por
hour
hora
zone.
en una zona de
A
65
traffic stop was
millas.
conducted.
Pararon
The
el
law enforcement
vehículo,
officer
el
ran the
oficial
plates
por-
and came
miró
back
las
with no
placas
records.
y la placa vino
The
unos
defendant
récords.
stated he did not speak
Entonces el
English.
acusado dijo que no hablaba inglés.
The law enforcement
Y el
officer
oficial
discovered a
policial
case report was made
que
on
descubrieron
March
que había un
27,
reporte el 27 de
2025,
marzo de
with the
2025
same vehicle
con
in
este
question
mismo vehículo
displaying a paper
que
plate,
tenía una placa
but
de
with the
papel,
matching VIN number of the
pero
vehicle,
que correspondía al
with no
número del
record shown on the
vehículo,
vehicle.
pero no tenía ningún récord tampoco.
A Spanish-speaking law
Un
enforcement
oficial
officer
que
was
hablaba
informed
español
by the defendant that the defendant purchased
le
the
dijo
car
al
3 days
acusado,
ago
el
on
acusado le
Facebook
dijo que lo compró
Marketplace
hace 3 días
and
en
was
Facebook
given
Marketplace
that paper
y
dealer temporary
le
tag.
dieron ese
The
placa de
defendant
papel.
was questioned
Y
about the
le
March
hicieron
27th incident,
Una pregunta
to
sobre
which
el
the
27 de
defendant
marzo
admitted
y
he was
usted
in
admitió
possession
que
of the
estabas en
vehicle during that
posesión
incident as well.
del vehículo durante
The
ese tiempo
defendant
también.
then admitted
Y
to
después
operating a
admitiste
motor
que
vehicle
estabas
with a
manejando
fake
ese
temporary tag on the
vehículo
vehicle.
con una placa falsa.
The defendant further
Y
informed the
después
law
el
enforcement
acusado
officer
dijo
that
al
he
policía
purchased
que
the
él
plates
compró las
off
placas
Facebook
en
Marketplace
Facebook
and met up
y
with a guy
se
3 days
encontró con
prior
un
to the
tipo hace
incident
3
in
días
a Walmart parking
en
lot
un
to receive the fake
estacionamiento de
plates.
Walmart para
The
comprar las
defendant was
placas.
positively identified by his citizenship card from Peru and
Y que tienes
Venezuela.
un carnet de Perú y de Venezuela.
License? Mr. Yepes Ovidio, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. If you do not have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, you are not allowed to drive, and that is a condition of your bond.
Eso es parte de
If I
la
find that you violate these conditions, I will put you in jail. I don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail, immigration finds you because they sweep it hourly. They will put a detainer on you and you will be stuck like Chuck in there until this case is over with, and then you get shipped off to immigration. Do you understand?
para inmigración, ¿entendió? Conteste.
Judge, there's no driver's license information populating for the.
This is an affidavit. This is a promise you're going to make to me that you're not going to drive.
Estás diciendo que vas a...
I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care what your justification is. If you drive, it's really not going to go well for you.
No te va a ir bien.
Do you understand?
¿Entendió?
Okay.
Sí, señor.
We're gonna have you come up here to swear to us that you're not gonna
Firmar
drive.
ese documento
After
jurando
that,
que
I'll
no
have you
vas a
take a seat in
firmar.
the jury box or
Y después
all
vas a
conditions
tomar un
ready.
asiento
Have you sign it.
a firmar los dos.
Dick, anyone else?
Counsel was here first this morning to do a plea. You want to do that?
Yes, may I approach on this?
All right, come on.
Page 13.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Blaine. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
Ready.
Thank goodness. Yes, sir, Your Honor. No, Your Honor, speak up loud enough for me to hear
Good
you.
morning, Mr. Melcher. You're charged with driving while intoxicated. You have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 3 days in jail with credit for the one day that you've done. You need to understand that after today, this charge will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. If you ever get pulled over, which is going to happen, an officer is going to look up your record. If they see that you have a private FBI and they roll up to your window and they smell alcohol or dope, it's probably not going to go well for you. What we're doing today, from now on, it's a minimum of 30 days in jail. Not to mention a $6,000 supervisory fee. And if you don't pay it, every $100 you owe, you sit 1 day in jail. Understand?
Yes, sir.
You're giving up the right to a trial, the right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement, there's no turning back. This is what you want to do. How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty? I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to 3 days in jail. I'll give you credit for the 1 day that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 180 days, sir. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe we need excuse.
Mr. Clay, does he work? What do you do for a living, sir? What kind of money do you make a month?
He makes about $1,400 a month. I've had the conversation with him. He has about $200 left over at the end of the month.
There's a $3,000 fee that would normally apply. I'm going to waive it for you now, but you pick up another one, get ready. It's a $6,000 fee. Do you understand? All right.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Clay. Come on.
Judge?
Yeah.
Judge, I've got 4 new fugitive appointments today.
Okay.
You want to start there with?
Yeah, so there's going to be 2, Judge, where I'm going to be entering a pre-signed waiver. It's going to be for Bushnell and for Deruin.
Okay.
And I went ahead and gave, hold on. Yep. Right.
Bushnell, and what was the other one?
And Deruin, Tara Deruin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that accurately, but right this court.
It's the next two.
And then Johnson, hold on.
So Tiffany Johnson, Judge, she would like a bond. She's wanted for larceny out of Louisiana.
We'll have to talk to her. I mean, so just have them bring her out, and then if you want both of them out, let's do them both. Or did you the other one as well?
The other one, Judge, Yolanda Swift is currently in medical, so we're just gonna keep her waiver for now and roll her to next week.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay, Lori, you ready? Holman, come up.
No, he's in jail, Judge.
Oh, she's in jail. Oh. What do you want to do?
You just need to revoke I guess raise the bonds, or she's on bond on the new evading case.
Yeah, okay. I'll whatever you want, Lori, you know?
All right, I'll just reset her the next week.
Okay, you got it.
Thank you.
What day you want?
The 8th.
You hear that, Vic?
On who?
Holman.
Yes. She did.
Yeah, okay, you're good. Okay. All right, Maria, you ready? Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Judge, I'm approaching on Victor Jesus Rauda Lopez. And he's got a bond violation report, Your Honor.
Page 10.
Is he here?
He's here, Judge. He's in the jury box.
Speak English?
Yes, he does.
Come up. Come up.
Answer yes or no, sir.
Did you get your GPS device?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm revoking your bond. I ordered you to get a GPS device. You didn't get it. Okay. Those with you. Sorry, Maria. All right. We're going to keep you. The bond right now is, oh God, it's 5,000 now.
I already paid the half.
1,001. We'll just raise it up 1,001.
6,000.
It's 5,000 now.
Right.
So I'll just do 6,001.
Okay, Judge. 6,000.
So if he bonds out,
Yes, Judge.
We'll get it.
Oh, Judge,
Anyone
I
else?
have, I was assigned a new case
Okay.
because I was appointed about 2.5 weeks ago to 3 previous cases that he's got. And my client is in custody. He's got an immigration hold. He does not have any bond set.
What's the last name?
Manuel Cooch, Coccuz. And he's got 2 felonies pending, Judge.
Just file this while he's in custody?
Sir?
You file this while he's in custody?
Yes. Yes.
So it looks like they found, that's so weird. They found probable cause on it, but they didn't put a bond on it, right? No, it's weird. I'll set it at, the other ones are at 10,004. I guess I'll just match those.
Yes, Judge.
You know, it really doesn't matter because he's not made bond on the felony or any of the other cases. So
He's
just,
got an immigration hold,
okay,
Judge.
so we'll just set it at the
I'll
same.
get a reset, Judge. Thank you.
So 10,004, what the other ones are set at?
Reproach, Judge?
Yeah.
This is on the tip, Judge.
Johnson, you said, right?
Yes, Judge.
All right, good morning, Ms. Johnson. So it looks like you are wanted out of the state of Louisiana for a larceny. It's a misdemeanor, am I right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Your lawyer's asking for me to set you a bond. I don't know. I need to know more about you. My primary concern, number one, are you going to go back to Louisiana if we give you a bond? Number two, are you going to leave a wake of destruction? Because that's what we don't want. We don't want you to be danger if you're danger, you know. Well, I know that you're going to tell me it's little bunnies jumping in the woods. Everybody does, right? But how you look on paper really tells me who you are.
Your Honor, the demanding jurisdiction requested no bond because the demanding jurisdiction showed that she is also wanted for failure to appear for a DWI, and the FTA was issued out from Caddo Parish on July 21st, 2022, but then she picked up this larceny within the last couple of months this year. While that was an FTA, state requests that there's sufficient bail be set for the fugitive to be returned to the demanding jurisdiction. State requests a $10,000 bond because of the fact that it's a 3-year-old FTA. On top,
This case is 3 years old.
no. The other
The DWI.
pending, right? She also is wanted for a DWI out of the same parish, but this specific fugitive case is for the larceny. I'm just highlighting the reasons for the higher bail. It's because the older case was 3 years
See
old.
what I mean? That's what I'm saying, you know? Yeah, I know what you're going to tell me, but paper tells me another thing. And that's a big problem. That DWI has been open for 3 years. Now, the only reason we have you is so are you okay with the bond though?
Okay, with a bond, just a sufficient bond that she return herself, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes.
Judge, we wouldn't be opposed to 10,000 if you could set it at that.
Okay, I want you to understand that I don't play games. I'm not going to do this repeatedly.
Yes, sir.
I can set you a bond now, but if you don't go, I'm going to revoke this bond. I will set it at 0. And this time I'm going to hold you until Louisiana comes and gets you. And we're not going to do this again. You have one chance to make it right. We give you 2 weeks from the date of your release to go turn yourself into Louisiana. You must turn yourself in. Not, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to hire a lawyer. I'm going to try to get a bond. No.
Just go turn myself.
Go turn yourself in. The other thing I'm going to tell you is that Murphy's Law, you know, what can happen will happen. Don't wait until the last day. You know what? I'm going to go turn myself in now. I don't care if you car trouble, abducted by aliens. Don't matter. As soon as you get out, I would go because that's a lot of money that someone else is toning up for you to get out. Do you understand? All right.
So I just wanted to highlight, and obviously the court set the bond, I'm not disputing that, but just because there have been 2 other fugitives from Caddo Parish that have waived, and I have 6 total from Louisiana. I imagine the transport is going to be soon. So regarding financial capabilities on restoring the bond when returned to Louisiana.
So let them know, you know, what he's trying to tell you basically is that because Louisiana, we have so many people in our jails from Louisiana, we have buses coming 1 to 2 times a week to shuffle in people from and to Louisiana. So if you were to waive within the next couple days, they'll probably have you back in Louisiana, as opposed to someone dropping 10,000. You said 10,000?
Yes.
As opposed to someone dropping 10,000 to get you out to go turn yourself in within the next 2 weeks. It's up to you. I'm just letting you know what it is, and then you guys can decide what you want to do. Has she waived already?
She's waived, that's why I can stand down if you want to talk. Sure.
Once, because you have already waived, so we give them a certain amount of time to come pick you up. If they don't come get you within that time, we release you. Once, if you want to post bond, you have to withdraw that waiver, and you lose all the time that you've accrued toward that. I'll let it explain to you, and you guys tell me what you want to do.
Yes, Judge. All right. And Judge, I guess we need to have Bushnell and DeRoyan brought out as well for their pre-signed waivers.
Just enter in the waivers. Unless you don't want them to come out to enter, then
I don't care. Just have them sign it and get it. Yeah.
Well, they don't really need to sign, pre-signed.
And just explain to them if they have a problem, or if they don't believe you, or they're giving you a hard time, just let me know. No problem.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Hall. Hey. Thanks. Did you get it done? Tell me you did.
I needed to speak to, pre-trial